gave him the real and everything he prayed he could feel. I spent time on the regular, talking and laughing. Down in and out the city, I was singing, I'm happy. I never met a man before him, I would ride for. I provided for him. Never told him no. Anytime, day and night, my baby got a whole show. Hey y'all. Welcome in, welcome in. If you are new to my channel, I am Tennessee's daughter. If you are returning back to me, I show gratitude. Look, let me tell y'all, it has been a lot happening. I've been trying to keep up with my life and giving y'all access to parts of my life. At a steady pace. So I hope y'all have enjoyed that. If you are new here, I want you to know that I do go by a curriculum. So I typed this up. I'm going to be reading off of it. We're going to be talking about what if romantic love never comes. Remember, the live chat is for encouraging each other. So please utilize that properly. Also, I will not look at the chat until at the end of this lesson that we're going over. So without further ado, let's hop in it. What if a romantic love never comes? Men and women alike are often taken aback when they learn of my marital status. When I was much younger, most men assumed that my single status equated to the difficulties that surrounded my involvement with another being. They couldn't have been further from the truth. My own beliefs about why I'm still single are far more complex than my original thoughts. Those findings have evolved, as have the woman I believe myself to be just a few weeks ago. And so my ideas of myself are coming in phases as I continue to work on things that need healing with me on many different levels, because there's so many different levels to healing. And into these new phases of life, I am discovering that my own thoughts are evolving. What I thought was one way, what I thought was something else, what I did not know was connected to something else, have been making its way to the forefront of my life. And I'm getting a better sense of who it is that I am and what it takes for me to engage with another being, be it a man or a woman. And so my younger self didn't think anyone would be interested in getting to know me beyond the surface. I didn't think my son or I would be fully accepted. I was a mom to a special needs child that would need me as long as we both lived, and I didn't want to burden anyone with that level of responsibility. And that's something that is new to coming to the forefront of my existence. Is I was operating in such a broken state, which be sure to check out that video, guys, operating in brokenness, that I would not only ask questions to myself that should have been given to somebody else, but I would answer them too. And I would be like, oh no, my life is too heavy for anybody else. And I would kind of X people out, or just, use them for whatever, my own personal reasons were, without looking to grow any further or beyond that point. And because there's other things tied to that, I really cannot expound on that without exposing other beings. And that's not the vibration that I'm in. That is my truth. Maybe at a later time I'll put it off in the autobiography or something, but right now that's just not it. But there are other factors, and so I do things in consideration of other people's existence. And although my story is my story and I have the right to tell it, I have to do things in good taste, because that's the way I want people to handle me too. So the mature version of me understands that to some degree, I was being protected in a very unique way. I was also being preserved. And when you think about preserving things, right? Because had I already fallen into some type of love, this and other, my path to getting right here before you guys definitely would have been differently. I may never have gotten on social media should I had already been in some healthy relationship, simply because I invest a lot of things like my time, my energy, my mind, body, and spirit. I invest those things into things that I'm closest to. So I know my relationship would have taken precedence over all kind of things. And a lot of men don't like being on social media, when it comes to exposing their relationship, this, that, and the other. So, even going forward, that may be a struggle with somebody wanting to date me, which is okay, and I'm okay with that. Nobody has to agree with everything that I do. I know that for me, I have to live out loud because this is what my soul journey is calling for me to do. And so the self-preservation, being preserved, being aware of those things is very important. And I'm glad that I am here in front of you guys. Okay. So, love is defined per an individual's thoughts about what love is to them. A lot of times we get caught up in telling people, even if we don't say it out loud, we watch all these different videos. Oh, I would have did this. I would have did that. I try not to tap into celebrity people business as often as other people do, simply because what works for one couple may not work for me, but it don't mean that they don't need to go through whatever that storm is or whatever that high is in order for them to gain the knowledge and whatever else that's attached to that connection. So some people have to experience certain things, be it good or bad or indifferent, just so that they can have that character building moment, so that they can learn what they need to learn before they get to the person they're supposed to be with for the rest of their life, or to gain another experience from a new person, whatever that is. Okay. So let's be mindful when we're thinking about the way somebody is loving somebody else out loud. Like, let them go through that. Just wish them well, because they're going to need it. Because that's a lot of processing and a lot of recovery that takes place when you have a bad or a poor experience with another human. So a lot of people mimic what it is that they desire by what makes other people happy. We see this play out in the relationship goal hashtags that are used on social media sites. Many of us lack self-awareness, which can be seen in the way that we react to the rom-coms we watch, comparing our lives, comparing what it is that we want. It's okay to gain an idea, because I know that I do some of those things, but I know that my life is not going to parallel with a whole other being's life, because when God made me, he broke the mold. Okay. She broke the mold. That's all I'm saying. Okay. So I know it ain't nobody else out there that can vibrate the way that I vibrate. And so I'm just looking for some similarities. Oh, I would like to try this when they doing something adventurous, or this, that, and the other with somebody I care about, love, whatever that is, but as far as trying to equate your life exactly like somebody else's, that may even be a borderline mental problem. Seek help if that's you. If not, then look, it's okay. Okay. Take some similarities, get inspired by other people, be enlightened by their journey with love and everything, but you definitely want to make love your own. So we catch a glimpse of a televised love story, and now we're obsessed with finding our person. But then your friend girl calls you to complain about the troubles in her marriage, and now you're back focused on being happily single, baby. And it just reminds you, honey, when we get access to certain people relationships, that is what single people do. We be like, thank God I ain't got to go through that. I ain't got to travel through that challenge, or whatever the case may be. We mirror the things that we're exposed to, or the things we choose to indulge in. In both cases, there's outside influence. Having awareness of self is needed when you're agreeing to find or cultivate a love with another being. Happiness isn't a one-size-fits-all situation. It's individually based. And that's something that I stated already, right? And so for me, when I think about what it is that I'm in pursuit of, what it is that I know will keep me around, I also have to be fair in knowing that this person too that is showing up has their own ideals and their boundaries and whatever else it is, when it comes to what they're looking for, what they're willing to do, this and the other. So you have to take those things into account. Just like living in a house, you've been single 20 years, you own your house, this and other. You meet somebody outside, y'all want to get together, this and the other. And this person too owns their house. So what better way to get together than for the both of y'all to sell that house y'all been having y'all single energies running rampant through, okay, and go get something else together. That's another thing you have to think about when you meeting somebody else. It's so much energy. And I know I bring up energy a lot, but everything attaches itself to us. All our experiences attach itself to us, which we then bring these things into situations that we don't want to be tainted. But if you're not doing work to relieve yourself of those things that can taint a new situation or a new love interest, I'm telling y'all, it's a gateway to the HE double hockey sticks, okay? If there is one. But anywho, so I made a list. Be honest with you and the questions that you ask yourself. So this right here, this is what you want to do. If y'all got pen and pad, you might want to write this down or refer back to this video when you find somebody you're trying to pursue. So be honest with you and questions to ask yourself. What makes me happy? What do I love most about me? How has being single assisted me in my growth? What would I be willing to let go of for love? Do I really want to share my space mentally, spiritually, or physically? What are my deal breakers? Do you see that? All of this is tied into self-worth. Me, I. What do you do with you before you decide to share you with somebody else? Because if you hadn't taken care of you, been honest with yourself, ask these questions, answering these questions with the most honesty that you have, what are you really sharing with new people? What are you really sharing with people who have taken care of themselves? When you haven't even asked yourself things about you, you haven't even evaluated where you stand as an individual. Okay. So once you've answered these questions with honesty, you'll have a better idea of what kind of love you're available to experience. And that is the key to connecting or disconnecting with anybody. What are you available to experience? Y'all wouldn't believe how many people trick their way into somebody else's life by being whatever they think this person is looking for, whatever they think this person wants, whatever they think this person needs, because they call themselves studying them. But how long can you keep up a facade? Not long at all, especially with a wise person, somebody that takes care of themselves, mind, body, and spirit. Okay. So being out here studying people and not being honest with yourself, you don't even know what you're available to experience. If you know you're emotionally unavailable, don't be looking to date nobody that is looking for somebody who is emotionally unavailable. This world doing so many crazy things out here. If I can't call and talk to you about everything and anything I need to talk to you about so that I can decompress and get back in the game of life, I don't want it. I don't want it. I'm gonna let whoever, is willing to entertain it. Do what they need to do, honey, because I need all my pieces, baby, for the next level or the next phase. So please know, just because there's no romance, it does not exclude the fact that love is not present. No one love is the same, nor is it expressed with the same likeness as others. Many people share connections without the intent to even marry. And you see that with your girl, okay? One of the wealthiest melanated women, and the fact that she never married, what is that about, but that's the way that they vibe, that's the way that they want to do their thing. That should be celebrated. A lot of times we disagree with the way people move because we base things on religion, we base them on what the Bible says, and then I'm not disregarding the Bible, I'm just telling you or explaining to you how we definitely navigate this world. If it's not in that great book, then we must be doing something wrong. When really, in actuality, I don't subscribe to a right or a wrong. It's just a matter of opinion and whatever works for you. And I encourage y'all to do that, to do whatever makes you happy. And so when we're talking about, just because there's no romantic love doesn't mean that love isn't present. That can be your homeboy, that can be your homegirl. It's people out here that have better friendships than they do relationships with people. And that's why certain men and women don't be letting go of their homegirls and their homeboys. Now, I will tell you, there are some men and women that know how to be just friends. And then there are some that like to lay and play with all their little friends that they have. They just don't have that emotional attachment to it. They don't have that emotional connection. And that makes me feel like maybe there's some underlying trauma somewhere there, the fact that you can be emotionally detached from somebody, because that's not a normal way to live life. Now, having emotional boundaries, this and the other, trying not to get too invested in somebody that is going to probably hurt you, cause you harm or whatever, I think that's okay. But to not want to feel, to want to go numb in this world, like, I don't understand that. I don't want to ever be numb. I mean, I've had moments where I think there was some numbness present, but I was in such a low vibrational state, you know what I'm saying, that it was hard for me to see what was causing me harm and what I was doing to myself. And so, going back to my rhetoric here, increasing your awareness. How has your previous relationship assisted in your growth as a man or a woman? What are some of the things you miss the most about having a significant other? Would you be willing to relocate to pursue a romantic interest? Should things not work out as planned, could you walk away with grace? These are real questions. And I want you guys to write this down. I want you guys to ponder on these things for a moment. A lot of the reason why a lot of people have degrees out here is because they studied the text. They went by the syllabus. Okay? They studied, they took exams, they took final exams. They did all of these things to obtain their degrees, in which they are working some great positions out here. And when you think about learning this information, y'all got to study it. You got to apply it in order to master it. What good is gathering all this different information from everywhere in your life and nobody can look at you and tell that you studied anything? Nobody can look at you and tell that you obtain any knowledge worth sharing with other people. You know what I mean? Because you're not becoming what it is that you desire. You have to become it. You have to be it, no matter how challenging it is. Okay. And so ask yourself those questions I listed. Refer back to this video. I'm gonna say that a couple more times, I'm certain. But I do want y'all to get better. You know what I'm saying? That's why I put my energy into this work so I can give it to y'all. And I'm sharing this with y'all free of charge. All you need is time. Nothing's really free, but you get my drift. So answering those set of questions as honest as you can will bring a lot of things that may be hidden to the surface. Our thoughts are often suppressed due to trauma. Once you examine the parts of you that are hidden, you strengthen your own awareness. And that is the truth. For me, putting pen to paper has brought me closer to my highest self. There are so many moments where I go back and look at my journal. I've been journaling for several years. And so I'll go back and I'll look at a particular day, the same day that we're on in the month, to see if I wrote something on that day and where my life was then. What was I experiencing in that moment, you know? And so I'm just like, pen to paper, you don't know what you might write. It's called automatic writing, baby. You don't know what might come out. And if you guys are not following me on Twitter, please check out my Twitter. A lot of times I am automatic writing. It'd be funny stuff, educational stuff, all that good stuff in between, you know. And so I write whatever download comes to me, whatever spirit has for me. A lot of times I share these thoughts out loud because it is one of your truest forms of existence. You know, you're not in that moment, you're not even thinking. You have disconnected in such a way that you are allowing yourself to flow freely. You know, like water being trapped in a dam when they release the dam, or however how they do it to let the water go through, because you know they have to hold so much. It study it for yourself. I'm just using an analogy that I think y'all can understand. But when I tell you, when they hold the water, then they have to release it for whatever reason or another, then that water flows freely. That's what writing is for me, and I'm certain it'll be that way for you, should you choose to apply it, right? So it's all an experience. One thing about romantic love that I've come to understand is that it should be free flowing. As I'm stating, it's without possession, and it doesn't need to be governed. If you are babysitting your relationship, baby, you are wasting everybody's time. Let people be. That's it. That's all. You ain't got no business babysitting. And if you keeping count of everything your spouse has done wrong or different than the way you would have done things, you taking score the wrong way, baby. And I don't believe in the right or wrong. I'm just saying there's a better way to do this. There is a better way to do this. What I'm saying is this: everything ain't a war. We got battles out here too. You know what I mean? Everything ain't a war. You don't have to do that. Because all you're doing is making yourself upset, getting yourself all stressed out, and then the body gets sick. You know what I'm saying? And then you don't know how to get better. You don't know how to do this. You don't know how to do that. Now every your life is suffering, all because you keep falling out of alignment. You are suffering because you keep falling out of alignment. It is trickling into every area of your life. When one thing is off, everything is off. You ever seen one child come in the house sick from school? Now the whole damn house is sick. Now can't nobody go to school, can't nobody go to work because one child came home sick. That's what I want y'all to think about. When you fall out of alignment with yourself, you infect every area of your life. You start subscribing to things you know don't make sense, all because everybody else is doing it. Not realizing your life is your life. I can share everything with y'all, anything that worked for me, this and the other. But if you're not choosing to move the way that works for you, something's wrong there. Remember, there's no right or wrong. I'm just using this because it's common term. And so it just makes it easy for us to communicate. You feel me? So closing out, my own awareness has shown me what I desire most from a man and how sometimes things don't turn out the way I wanted to. Having shared that, I will always stay open to receive love, kindness, attention, respect, and care from the beautiful beings that were sent to share it with me. I'm aware that my journey is about more than romance, as I have had a multitude of life experiences with people from different walks of life. For a romantic love is simply a friendship that has been set on fire. So that's why we do not possess people in that manner. You're supposed to be friends with your love. A lot of people don't even know how to be friends with their lover. And then they wonder why they don't want to have a conversation with you. You wonder why they don't want your mate doesn't want to have a conversation with you because you've not only interrupted the vibration of y'all's relationship, you've tainted y'all's friendship. And that is exactly how you build a relationship by being friends first, being a safe place first. Work on those things. Don't worry about what nobody else doing. Try not to keep count of what nobody else got going on out here. Your body, your mind, your spirit, your soul will know when it's time to go. It will know when it has had enough. You do not have to keep score. I hope you guys can take from this lesson how important it is to be okay with identifying love for you in a different way that does not resonate with somebody else, but it resonates with you, because it's important going forward because we don't know exactly what this mission in life is all about. Some of us ain't even here for romantic love, but that's a whole other conversation. I told you I ain't for beginners, baby. Hopefully, we can connect in other ways, but I'm not for beginners. Some of these lifetimes that we're living right now ain't got nothing to do with romance, but the fact that we need to be free lovers, loving everybody. I'm connected to people from different backgrounds, and I love that way. And anything I feel like is dividing me is limiting my resources. So, with that being said, I'm gonna check the chat. Hey, sister on the East Coast, I'm glad you in here. Look, I hope you guys have enjoyed my live. And until my next video, I want you guys to have a good week because every day belongs to you until you decide that it does not. Okay. And until the next video, remember, if y'all not felt loved anywhere, you are loved here. You are thought of and you are cared for. And I'll see you guys then. Mwah. Call me, sister. Okay. Call me.